Just you make a difference. Every single day, small business owners make a difference. Your communities love you. Small businesses are the ones that always support those local teams and local events.
Good morning and welcome to this episode of Mornings with Missy. Today I'm joined with the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center out of Northwest Texas and Midwestern State University, Vanda Cullar, and I'm so grateful that she's here today. If you are a business owner, know a business owner, have thought about going into business, today we're going to cover a broad spectrum of the things that maybe you need to know, want to know, or don't know that you need to know. So welcome to the show, Vanda. Thank you for joining us. Let's get going. So tell me, first of all, where, let's just dive into what you've got going on there with the SBDC.
So our SBDC here covers about 12 counties along the Red River and 2 to 3 counties south of the Red River. Our office, which is located at the University in Wichita Falls, we're part of the Northwest Texas Network. That is our state office. So we have 95 counties. So we have a bunch of different economies, even within that 95 counties, because some are very oil dependent, and we're not. So even in just our 95 counties, we deal with a lot of different economies and needs and what's going on with small businesses. Right now, here at MSU, we're heavily involved in a business plan competition.
I'm going to take a real quick pause and thank our sponsor, Reba's Buds and Blooms, located on Main Street, Henrietta, always providing us with a beautiful arrangement. Drop by and see them for all of your floral and gift and honey needs. Thank you to Robert and Amanda. Vanda, you are located in North Texas, but 95 counties that you serve, I know you're busy, but that is a really good sampling of anywhere, quite frankly, in America. I mean, I'm here in Oklahoma, and it doesn't matter truly if you're, in the Northeast or the Southwest. Needs for small businesses truly are the same, wouldn't you say, wherever you go, the strategies and the planning, that type of thing. So touch on if the challenges that you see with small businesses as they're getting started and the things that you would advise. As you said, you're doing you've got a contest going on and you're helping people get started, all of those things that you do.
Right. I do think that in general, small businesses, they have the same things going for them and they have the same struggles. Of course, different areas may have, different focuses and of course, slightly little things that are very regional. But I think every business, but especially small businesses, just because of the scale, right now, like in 2026, some of the challenges are, I'm sure you can attest to this, um, finding and hiring employees and retaining them. So it's like once you find that employee that shows up for work and is excited about it and enjoys what they do, it's a challenge to keep them. Um, we're small businesses are having to get very creative, and all of this. It seems like 6 years later, we're still talking COVID, but
Mm-hmm.
part of what COVID brought about, small businesses having to get creative in what they're offering as they're hiring, and offering a little higher salaries, some benefits that maybe they didn't have to offer before. Um, Sometimes, if it works at remote or a hybrid situation, and offering a path, a kind of a career path to keep employees there. Everyone is everyone is struggling with the rising cost of just operating, and small business margins are smaller, and even though you may have increased pricing a little, everything else has probably increased a lot, and so those margins are shrinking. So doing more with less is kind of the challenge of the day.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I talk to small business owners regularly, and those challenges that we face in our own dealership are the ones that everyone is facing without question.
Right.
Hiring is definitely top of mind. And that's even
It
large businesses are having that challenge as well. But for sure, it's impacting the
right.
small owner.
That it impacts the small businesses so much more just because of the scale of the operation.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of these are shared challenges between, corporates, large corporations and small businesses, but it just impacts that small business owner more. And of course, small business by definition um, can be quite large, but really when I say small businesses, I'm referring to what you and I think of as a small business, definitely under 150 employees. Really, most cases, 10 or fewer.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's more typical, and I think more what we think of as small business rather than like SBA or USDA's definition of small business.
Mm-hmm. I know that when you and I visited about you coming on the show and we discussed topics of conversation, one of the things that you mentioned right away, you said, I want to make sure that we're covering the topic of exit strategy. And
I do.
how quickly should a business owner, a small business owner, start thinking about their exit strategy? And what does that mean? I know what it means for me, but I want you to speak in general.
Okay, so traditionally speaking, um, mom, pop, grandpa started a business, and the plan was for a child to take it over. Well, that's not happening. So um, that is really what has brought about so much of the change. So when we're talking about an exit or succession plan, but usually exit, ideally an owner is starting 5 to 10 years out. But if you will just start 5 years out with changes, that will get you in shape. But perfect scenario is every business opens with an exit plan. It is part of your business plan that you have hopefully written, and it may be adjusted along the way. What is so important in today's world is that a part of your exit plan, you need to you need to um, not be so owner dependent. Everybody comes into the business and wants to talk to the owner. They want the owner to wait on them. They're more of the owner's customer than they are the business's customer, and that is what we really, really need to get away from. We need to, instead of that one person kind of being the holder of all the knowledge, boy, you need processes and procedures in place to make it sellable.
Mm-hmm.
Even talk about employee ownership down the road in a way to make that work. Because if you start 5 or more years out transitioning ownership, it can benefit everyone. And there are ways to do it so that those employees can take over if they've been there and have an interest in this. And some of the classes and certifications that I've done, one of them, what really, really stood out to me was the gentleman, I believe he's from Missouri. He said he owned a hotel, and he knew that the employees wanted to take over, but he knew their financial situation. He knew what he paid them. He's like, there's no way they can finance this. Well, later on, he said that was the biggest mistake that he ever made. because they cared about it. The person he sold to, it was just another hotel. And
Hmm.
there are ways to get creative and to do that.
Yeah, there's so many nuances there. Uh, Definitely worth exploring. And along those same lines, though, you talk about um, not being so owner dependent. That as well comes right back into hiring and retaining the right people. You know, so all of
It
those
it
challenges.
does.
What are
That is
small
such a huge choice.
Yeah. What are small businesses who want to offer benefits to employees doing in that realm today? Are there any creative things, co-oping, or anything that is available to small business owners?
There are just so many things because from now to 10 years from now, what a small business looks like and how it operates and how you can survive, I believe is going to change drastically. And so um, there are there are ways to offer things that are important to your employee, something that means something to them. Maybe you cannot offer health care coverage, but maybe you can give them some extra days, or maybe you can allow them to work remotely. It's what fits. It's got to work for the business, but a lot of it is truly about getting creative, realizing what your employees value,
Hmm.
and bringing that to the forefront of what you can offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I always do a segment here on the show called Cup of the Week, and it's just an opportunity for you to share a little bit about yourself. And we do that through our coffee, because most of us here, we love to have a morning drink of some sort. So I know you are a coffee lover. What are you drinking your coffee out of this morning?
Well, as you know, I have a helper with me today, and this is usually the cup, pardon me, the cup that I drink out of every day.
Oh, well, that's a number one right there. Grammy.
It is, and I love, I've had this for years now. And if I don't drink out of it, she calls me on it. There we go. Being a
There you
Grammy, it's the
go.
best job I've ever had. And
Yes, it pays the
as I
dividends,
was
doesn't it?
it does. And I was looking through my coffee mugs, and I like all of my favorites, Missy, have meaning. It's not because they match a set or anything. It's
Right,
because my daughter gave me a sweet one, or my other granddaughter always gives me a Christmas mug, or um, one student that worked here from Columbia brought me a coffee mug back from Columbia. So I love the memories that go with each of these mugs.
right, absolutely. And I know, Vanda, you have worked for the Small Business Development Center there at the university in Texas, where you're located, for a number of years. How many exactly have you been involved in that?
Well, Missy, how's the weather over there in Oklahoma? I have been here way more years than I feel like I am old, but I'm creeping up on like 40 years sometime soon.
Yeah, and small
So
business has been your heart for, decades. You're from a family that had a small business. I mean, you're
I
I mean,
I
you
grew
were
yes, I grew up kind of west of here, near the Red River, in a community, Quanah, and then out in the country from there in a little tiny community called Goodlet. Um, And my dad, the year I was born, he started an aerial spray business, and he was a farmer and a rancher. And so from the time I can was old enough to write legible, back in the day when your ledger covered the entire kitchen table, my mom would be at one table and I'd be at another, and I'd make ledger entries and pass them on, and then she'd do whatever she was doing with them. And we, I've just I love working with rural communities And I love working with small business owners. They are my heart. Small businesses are truly the backbone of America. In the news, we hear all about all the big corporate successes or woes. We never really hear about the small businesses, but small business employs about 50% of our workforce. Small businesses make up like 98% of the businesses in America. Um, the payroll sits at about half. And so the impact that small business owners make in our country has always been and continues to be seriously what runs the economy. I
Hmm.
mean, when we have layoffs, okay, they're one, two, five people. They're not hundreds like we hear on the news, but in our communities, that's a family affected. I mean, and and our small business owners take so seriously um, the responsibility of having that employee and what it means to their family.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk to any small business owner, and I assure you, if they get a solid night's sleep, that's that's the rare that's the rare occasion. Um,
Absolutely.
it's those thoughts that keep you up at night. It's not
Hmm.
only the day to day operations, but it's how it's impacting your employees and their children, their families, um,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Um, we're going to take a quick pause and hear from a sponsor who's helping members of our community find jobs. So we're going to hear from them, and we'll come back and we'll finish up this segment. I have a few more great questions for you.
Good morning, Okmulgee. Welcome to Work Ready. We're here for our June Soft Skills Workshop. If you're looking to find a job, get a job, and keep a job, come on down. We're here at 7th and Grand, 539-286-6136 in Okmulgee. All these wonderful people are here to pursue employment. We got job coaches on site, custom job leads, a free resume. Come down and see us. Hit our banner at okmulgeelocalnews.com. Guys, what do you think so far? In the next class, July 6th. Come down and check us out.
All right, welcome back. This is going to be an important segment as we finish up with Vanda from the Small Business Development Center. Vanda, you wanted to touch specifically on technology and small businesses. So take over that conversation and tell me what we need to know.
Okay. I think all of us, we've heard of AI, artificial intelligence. Some of us may use it every day. Some of us may be trying to stay as far away from it as possible. But if you are a small business owner, I encourage you to seek all the training that you can because AI is here, whether you embrace it or not. And with anything, we can make a choice to look at the negative or the positive. So let's take the positive road on this. AI is going to assist small business owners in doing tasks that you struggle to get done right now, but you've got to know how to do it. So that's why I encourage to, get online, get on YouTube. There are plenty of trainings out there available. Watch our Facebook and our website. It's at MSU SBDC. In Oklahoma, you have SBDCs, and I'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
more about that when we wrap up. But small business owners, you can have a marketing assistant, you can have a social media assistant, you can even have AI can help you tremendously with your bookkeeping. There are things that AI can do for you and in so much less time. I mean, my research that used to take me a whole day now
Mm-hmm.
takes a few minutes to do.
Yeah.
Um, I just think that that is so important because in the future, um, knowing how to use AI effectively and safely is going to mean the difference in success and not probably because you now as a business owner can focus on strategy and planning and your workforce and delivering that fantastic customer service that, the larger businesses probably are not so good at. So it's not going to replace people. It's not going to take up jobs. Those jobs, we will see a job shift, and so skills need to shift. But I think that we're going to see a difference in the way small businesses are ran and what determines success. It is also a trend that I think we're going to is um, small businesses job sharing, like having
Mhm.
instead of you hiring a part-time CEO or CFO or any or marketing person, you can have these by sharing with other businesses. So that's another trend that I really see taking place. And then everyone needs to have an awareness of cybersecurity. And I know that's tough, but that's where that job sharing can really come in. And finding a group of businesses that could use someone from a couple hours to a day or two a week and sharing them with each other.
That's great
Um,
advice. hmm
mhm.
It
I,
truly
I
is.
just I just think small business, it's not going to be business as usual. And AI is moving so fast that we truly do have to try to keep up and use it to our advantage.
Yeah. And I think that in some industries, AI will be replacing it is replacing jobs. But for the small
Yeah,
business, it is relieving us of some of those responsibilities that have it spread so thin. So
that is
absolutely.
absolutely
And it's allowing us a little more time to work on the business and not so much in the business as the saying goes. Um,
yes.
your SBDC serves the North Texas area, but obviously we have those resources available across the United States. There's one here in our area of Oklahoma. But you've already said your website you've got great resources there that's available to anyone. You don't have to be in Texas to utilize those resources.
Right.
What what
Right.
uh, what would you like to say about the SBDC as we wrap up?
I'd just like for small business owners to know that SBDCs are all over the nation, anywhere you go. And, just Google SBDC near me and you can find it. There in Oklahoma, the lead office or the state office is based out of southeastern Oklahoma State. But there's, Rose State College for the Oklahoma City Metro,
Mm-hmm.
Canadian Valley Technical Center, serves the, I believe it's El Reno area. And we all operate a little bit differently, but we're also all accredited by the same governing body. So at the core, we're the same. We're here to help small business owners, whether you are in business, um, wanting to go into business, expanding, or exiting. You should be able to find an SBDC to help you with that and any of the business topics, marketing, finance, government contracting. Like we have specialty centers that offer assistance with government contracting. And small business owners, the government buys everything that you and I do as private citizens. So, know that that's a way to grow your business. We also have um, TMAC, which is Texas Manufacturing Assistance Center. But I'm sure you all have those in Oklahoma as well. And so if you're in a manufacturing situation, they can come in and look at the layout of your plant. They can come in and do lean manufacturing training or the manufacturing that goes along with international trade so that everyone's
Mm-hmm.
on the same page, no matter what country you're dealing with.
And are these resources available to the businesses at no cost, or are there fees
All the
associated?
resources, they are absolutely at no charge to the client. Now, if we have a training and we bring in lunch or we have to pay the speaker, there
Of
may be a
course.
fee, but it's not going to be anything like if you went to a for-profit organization for training.
Mm-hmm.
But if If there is a fee, you're absolutely going to know it. There's never a fee for consulting services. TMAC operates on a they're self-funded, so they do charge, but again, nothing like if you went and hired a group of engineers.
Yeah, so many fabulous resources. So I hope that if you are in business already, you're thinking about it, uh, seek out these resources because they are valuable. I know just a plethora of small business owners who have sought guidance through the small business, and you truly, the services that you offer, you know, setting you up with a roadmap from the very beginning is just so crucial. And you have done a fabulous job there in the North Texas area, Vanda. I know impacting so many businesses and families. I just want to thank you for joining us this morning. Is there anything that you want to say to our folks as we part ways?
Just you make a difference. Every single day, small business owners make a difference. Your communities love you. Small businesses are the ones that always support those local teams and local events. Um, so you're appreciated, you're needed. Hang in there and just, you know, stay ahead of the curve. Try to stay up, take advantage of any training, and call your local SBDC for assistance.
Thank you so much, Vanda. And thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week.